opportunity is when luck meets preparation. A lot of it really is luck, but whenever luck does come by, you want to be prepared. You don't ever want to find out about something perfect and then be like, oh, I gotta get it together. If I were to find out about my dream job tomorrow, my CV is ready. Good morning, friends. Good morning, friend. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Wednesday. Y'all, it is leg day. I'm up early AF because it is a big week, okay? I have my very first international conference coming up in a couple days, and so I'm very much so in prepping for networking, prepping for honestly so much. We're going to get into it. So much is happening, especially with my career, so I figured why not share all these updates with you. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. Quin Jones. I'm an applied mathematician that creates computational models of diseases and their pathology using biological patient data. My doctoral dissertation was on understanding pain and sickle cell disease using mathematics, and now I am a second-year postdoc working on understanding the immune response to lung disease. I use mathematical concepts like dynamical systems, multivariate regression, and machine learning algorithms to simulate real-world conditions, predict outcomes, and inform clinical decision making. I aim to continue working in medicine by becoming an independent researcher that studies pathology and immunology through mathematics. Another part of my mission is to encourage and support other Black women and minorities that are interested in STEM. I aim to do this through both outreach and my social platforms. Hence this social media channel where I share my journey as a Black woman in STEM. It is my hope that by sharing my career lens through an everyday journey, you can see how realistic it is for you, while also using my systems knowledge to change my life and show you how you can do it too. So if that's something you're interested in, you should definitely stick around and join. There are changes that have happened, but there are changes that are coming, okay? My career goals, long-term and short-term, have been kind of recalibrated based on some recent developments, but there is still so much to achieve and so much we're going to accomplish together. So long-term, meaning like 5 to 10 years from now, is to become a tenure-track professor at a research institution. My ideal career, as I said, is working in healthcare as an independent researcher, and my current, path is leading me down towards that long-term goal. And so then my short-term goal to help me get there is what I'm currently doing right now. I am a postdoc, and in the next 2 to 3 years before I can become a tenure track professor, I need to increase my publications, get grant funding, and sign a contract as a new professor. So that's what I need to do in the next 2 years. And then even more specifically, the job I have right now is about to end. So it is currently July 2025. July 2026, this job is basically over. So if I don't have a job that starts next fall, we won't have any money, right? So the job hunt starts this fall. As an academic, everything starts a year in advance. So if I need a job next August, applications start this August. It's just the way the academic calendar works. So now is the time to get all the materials together, baby. Now is the time, especially since I'm going to this conference this weekend. So yeah, I'm following the plan to make sure that I can get this job. Right now, I have many concerns, honestly, if we want to get into it. I want to show you my materials and talk more specifics about the kind of jobs I'm looking at. But just even off top right now, everything is so murky in the water. Oh, I don't want to think about this in the early morning. But yeah, y'all, the current administration is ruining everything. The big beautiful bill, the cuts to spending in education and medicine, and oh my gosh, so much about the future of education and medicine is up for air right now. I did not think I would be one of those people in the movie where, you know, they kill lawyers and they kill like those kind of people. I forgot that they also murder scientists and that they ruin science. And by they, I mean like fascists and evil people who don't care about knowledge. And they just want control, which is how you get that by removing knowledge. And so much of that is our current economic landscape. And so I'm not excited to go back on this job market. Like, it is not looking good. So many people at labs have been shut, grants have been cut, people have lost jobs, people have gotten hired and then fired 2 weeks to a month later because of sudden lack of funding. Like, the state of academia is very in flux and very unsure. There are postdocs who are in the lab I work at who just can't get a job because there's no money to support them. So there are a lot of concerns as an early career scientist, and I do acknowledge those. I'm not unaware of how difficult things are, but also, I do have optimism, and I still have to put my best foot forward anyway. If the world ends tomorrow, I don't want to be sitting there looking at the wall. I want to be working towards my goals, doing all I can, taking advantage of every day I get, you know? So that's what we're doing. Today we're going to talk all things job point, all things job materials, because that's what I got to get together. We're going to talk about my jobs that I'm looking for, how I'm looking for them, going through my Notion database. We're going to talk about my updated materials. I finally updated my CV with new publications. I still need to update my website, and I have written a research statement. So we're going to talk about all that. This is especially for my fellow academics, whether you're an undergrad, grad school, postdoc, faculty. I understand that we're all kind of in this boat together, trying to survive what's happening. So I thought I'd talk about what I'm doing specifically, because it is that time of year. So I'm going to get my day started. It's 6 a.m. Wednesday, July 9th. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the gym and work out, and then we're going to spend our day together. So let's get it done. Good morning. Oh, yes, this is hair on purpose. I tried to recurl a few of them to keep the life in them, but this one, they didn't do it. It didn't do it, so we're retrying it. We're gonna keep her on through the workout. I honestly wouldn't mind. We'll see. I'm all dressed for my work day today. I've decided I'm gonna go to a cafe / bookstore for work today. I really need the ambiance and the company. I feel like there's a difference between my job now as a postdoc and as a research person versus when I was like teaching and when you are a professor that teaches. I don't have any teaching responsibilities, so I'm researching full time, which means that I don't have the summer off. I am indeed working in the summer. However, the summer has a lot of conferences. I mean, there's conferences year round, but the summer has a lot of them. It's like conference season. So people are everywhere, traveling, gone. A lot of meetings are happening on Zoom, and there's less of a like super requirement to like be there. And since I'm not actually doing any biological experiments, I don't have like a scheduled time to be there also. So it's giving hybrid. It's giving a hybrid right now, and I'm finally exploring Gainesville, trying to see like places to work that aren't my office that has no windows. It is what it is. It is where I am right now. Okay, it's where I am right now, so I'm making the best by going somewhere else. Exactly. But before I do that, I mentioned earlier about how my goals have changed, my short-term goals, and I want to expound on that a little more and share like what my priorities now are because of that, because I also recently shared those goals with my advisors, and we've adjusted my career plan going forward. So y'all, my annual review was last week. It was last week. The way it appeared on my calendar had me so concerned, first of all, because there's this thing here. I feel like when I was in grad school at my previous institution, if there was going to be a meeting, there was a lot of prep before being put on the calendar. Here, they just put something on the calendar and you accept it or you don't. There is no like, hey, let's have a meeting about this. There's just, oh, invite, meeting at 12 on Friday. Okay, like I can't say no, basically. And so that's how it appeared, and I was like, why do I have a meeting with the head director next week? So the day of, I just kind of said to my PI, hey, what's that meeting about? Should I prepare a presentation or anything? And he was like, no, it's just your annual review. We want to talk about career goals, your projects, if they're aligned with that, and your plan for this next year since you renewed your contract. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did still type up a little document outlining all of that. Oh, I could also share that. But after having this conversation with them, it really clarified what is feasible for me given the time frame, and so we've actually decreased my workload. And what I found interesting about this, I had a similar meeting with just my PI and not with the director, and he said a similar thing, that he thinks I'm very talented and motivated and intelligent, but I have too many interests when it comes to my job. He was like, I have too many scientific interests because I really want to do a sickle cell project, and they're just like, you don't have time to do that with what you're already doing, and you need to finish what you're already doing. And I'm like, okay, fine. They were like, if all the things you have like special passions for, you really need to save for when you are in a tenure track position so that you can get that tenure track position. Like, I'm putting too many, carts before the horses or something like that. So yeah, the conversation from that and from my media review, if you saw that, I think you saw that before this. Yeah, it's time to decrease the plate. It's time to do less to get more done. And I just kind of love that that's the consensus. I love that that's the consensus. I just kind of love that that's the consensus. Why can't I say the word consensus? I just love that that's the consensus for my whole life right now, for my fitness journey, for my career, for my personal life. It's like, oh, you actually don't need to do that much. You actually can calm down. Like, no one's chasing you. You know, that's kind of where I have reached. So because of that, I have less projects I'm going to focus on. So I eliminated a lot out of my calendar. I removed 2 projects that I was about to like really prioritize, and instead I'm going even deeper on the ones I have to finish by the end of the year. So the current game plan, I want to get an F grant. The way it was explained to me is that I have a future in this current place, but because we do research only and no teaching, there is no payment for teaching. And so the rest of our payment that would otherwise come from teaching has to come from grants. So the school gives you a small part, and then you have to get paid for what you do. If you don't teach, you're researching. Who's going to pay for that? That's where grants come in, right? And so when it comes to working here, the thing that I'm on ends next year. And so if I want to stay, no problem. They'd love to have me. Can you get your own funding? You can stay. It's kind of the deal. And I was like, okay, cool. And there's just this whole checklist requirement, prerequisites for any of that to happen, right? But there is a workflow system already made for this career journey. So initially there's an F grant, which is called a postdoc level grant, and it's for postdocs, so it's feasible for me to apply to that and get it because I would only be competing with other postdocs. And then there are K level grants, which are early career science grants, like that level. And so that's when you're, I think, anytime before the 10-year mark after your PhD is your early career. And I technically could apply for a K grant, but I don't know if I have enough publications to be competitive for the wider range of people that includes. So that's like the second level. So if you get an F, you can get more publications to then get the K. And then after the K, you want to apply for an R level grant. And that's like the best level, highest, you're a professor, you're a PI, you're your own lab leader level grant, where you get a lot more money. And so again, the requirement for that is probably having gotten those previous grants, previous publications. So there's like a whole system to follow in that regard, and that's the path that I am on. So I have 2 papers that I'm working on so that I can apply for an F grant. I'm working on a strong inference math methodology paper. So I'm an applied mathematician. I work in biology. So it's taking my general math skills, and then I have applied math skills, so like dynamical systems, multivariate regression, and then I apply that to biological patient data, biological systems. I simulate them, all of that. And so since that's my field, it's actually a very specific skill set, even though there are a lot of people that do it. So I'm writing a paper to kind of move forward what we do as mathematical modelers in biology, because it is becoming a booming thing now. As we get more data available with technology, we can actually really leverage what we know with dynamical systems, mathematical modeling, computation. Merging it all together, we can really advance medicine, and it's important to really bring some more order and standardization just a little bit to the way we do biomodeling, so that I can be more translational in the clinic. So that's what my paper is aiming to do. That's what I'm writing a paper on. It has 5 sections. I'm on section 4, and it has 2 case studies, so 2 examples to show the method that I'm putting forward works. And I'm coding it up in Python, and it is taking forever because I don't have a whole lot of Boolean network experience, but it's my last case study. The whole point of the case study is to show that the method I'm talking about will work on a wide range of techniques. It doesn't have to be only a certain type of model. You can take this framework and apply it in any kind of way, so it works for all biomodels. And so I need to finish this part with the coding, that's what I'm working on today. So that's one paper. Once I have section 4 done, I can do the conclusion and discussion. Okay, so that's one paper. The second paper is an ODE model. So as I said, I take biological patient data, or sometimes experimental data, sometimes clinical data. Like, I use real world data that's relevant to my project, and I simulate whatever system I am investigating. So there is an ODE model, an ordinary differential equations model, to study the immune response to aspergillosis, which is a mode that we inhaled and that causes some lung disease symptoms. So by investigating this, we can help figure out ways to create potential targets, things that influence things getting worse, and therefore inhibiting those things or figuring out ways to control it. It's kind of my whole job. And so in this specific case, it is the lung disease. And there's a paper we can write about that. Like, if we can get our model to match what we see in the system, or at least in accordance with our assumptions, and we can validate it and make future predictions, then that is a worthwhile model to share with others to, broaden the field, find more clinical relevance, to improve clinical relevance in translational, progress. So that's the second paper, finishing that model, coding it all up, getting the results, sharing it. So those are the 2 papers I'm working on. The second one is with a collaborator. The first one is more of it's going to be a first author paper. So yeah, those are my projects. And instead of trying to start a sickle cell project or write a review paper like I was going to, they were like, let's just finish those, because those are strong and relevant to my career goals. And then the other ones, they won't have as much of an impact on my career progression as the other 2 papers will. So let's just do those. And they're like, if you do those, you can apply for a grant to continue that work. And not only will that help you get the grant by having more publications, but then getting the grant means I'll stay where I am at this job and I'll get more training, and then I can follow the path. So that's the plan. I need to go do this coding so I can finish the first paper. My goal is to finish it, I've said by the end of the month, every month for the last 4 months. But I really mean it this time. The goal is to finish it by the end of July. Because I need to. In fact, there's a meeting tomorrow to talk about updates. We met on Monday and we talked about what needed to be done, and TJ was like, that sounds like a day's worth of coding. And I said, okay. I went in my office, I did my day's worth of coding, I went back in his office, I said, this is where I am, help me. And then he was like, oh, this shouldn't be this difficult. I agree. So we tried to troubleshoot, and now it's just like, all right, we both have to leave. It's 5:45, so I'll figure it out more on my own. And that's where I am, figuring it out more on my own. If I can get this to work. Like, it's not getting my method to work, it's if I can get the code to work, because it's a separate skill. Each step is its own skill, right? Like, understanding the biology well enough is an educational skill. Being able to translate the biology into mathematics is what I got my PhD in. And then being able to turn what I've done mathematically into code, it's a separate skill. And so I know my biology is sound, I know my math methodology is sound. It's the computational part that always takes fucking forever, because computers are so sensitive, case sensitive, everything sensitive. So that's where I am. It's the last step of like the whole math modeling process is the computation, and that's where I am for 4.2, the section. So yeah, that's my update on my current priorities. I am really excited about it. It definitely matches what I want to do long term. I want to be known for this kind of work. When you hear about Dr. Jones, I want you to associate me with immunology, pathology, OD modeling, sickle cell, lung disease, cardiovascular modeling. That's what I want to specialize in and be known for. So I think these projects are in alignment with that, and I just have to keep working on them and getting it done, because the job market is just continuously going to be more competitive. There are more and more of us entering the job market, Black women, PhDs. I love it. And also people are getting fired, so now everybody's looking for jobs. And so to be competitive, it means the goalpost just moves every year, and I don't know when that'll stop. So I'm gonna do my best to stay brilliant, right? So let's go do some work. I've already packed my bag. I love this briefcase. Shout out to my mother, she's the reason I got it. All right, work time. Oh my goodness, friends, I completely forgot my camera here, right here on this counter. But I'm home from my work day. It's 5:16. I gotta say, the library I went to, it was a cafe someone had recommended, or a bookstore. It's called something library, but it's a bookstore, and it didn't have very good seating, and the outside seating was taken over by mosquitoes, but whatever. And also, still, the Boolean coding is a lot of the Python library for Python.net is outdated, and I'm having trouble. I've already let him know I'm having trouble, so I'm gonna try again in the morning before my meeting. But what can you do? What can you do? It's 5:16 and I have not gotten my steps for the day, and if I sit down to do the rest of what we have to talk about, I'm afraid I won't get them. So I'm going to go do that first. I'm gonna change and go get my steps, and then we're gonna get into packing together, because I told you that there's a conference next week, so I'm leaving on Saturday in like 3 days, and I need to pack for next week's conference. And so we need to do that. I need to pick out the outfits for my first professional conference as Dr. Jones, and then we're gonna go through my updated job materials, my CV, my research statement, as I understand them in my job hunt database. So I need to get my steps done. I'm at like 8,000, so at least a 20-minute walk, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna get out of this. All right, I am back from the gym. I went to the gym to get in my walk because it has been raining most of the day. It was sunny for maybe before noon, then after that it's just been pouring pouring down. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I also saw a tweet that was like, it's apparently raining like this all over the country in an unusual way. And I mean, given AI, I'm not surprised. So that also is why I've decided that I'm going to twist my hair before I go. I'm loving this. I love the curls. It is my favorite look. It is what I want to be my signature look, the curls. So I would love to go to the conference in curls. Signature look, right? But I just looked at the weather for next week in Canada so I can pick out these clothes, and there's a good chance of rain, and the low is in 50 and the high is in like 75, so it's gonna be pretty chilly, raining. I don't think that's curly hair weather, so I'm going to do 2-strand twists probably Friday before I go, like Friday night before I go to bed, call it a day. But yeah, so I'm also need to keep that in mind as I choose these outfits. So I did previously do a video talking about my signature look, like what I wanted to be. I did a whole get ready with me in this closet. Well, you know, I did a whole get ready with me where I talked about how I like to stay authentic to myself in these kinds of spaces. I am not one to assimilate to the, I don't know. There are some ways I assimilate, like I do and I don't. Like I don't really do my edges. I've never been one to believe in that. But also I am one of those manicured locks kind of people. There are people who, you know, have a more freeform kind of way, and I'm not that. So, you know, some would call that assimilating. Though the fact that I have locks would maybe say that I'm not. Who knows? Who cares? But yeah, I like to be as me as possible. Sometimes I do prioritize covering my tattoos, but only really when I am presenting, just because I don't always want my tattoos to steal the show. I want my words to, so I might like put on a jacket while I'm presenting, or maybe there have been times where I haven't, and then remove it for the questions or like when I'm going places. But when it comes to when I'm speaking, sometimes I prefer to let the words do the talking and not the fit. But since I'm just going to go to meet people, to network, to see, to be, I can wear whatever I want. I mean, that's always the case, but you get what I'm saying. So, okay, let's do it. I am going to check a bag, but I said that because I was like, oh, I kind of really want to wear these boots, like immediately. But am I going to walk around a conference in boots? Let's be real. I mean, I have walked around in heels at conferences. I do. But those boots? Let's get real. Other things to mention, I am a skirt dress person. I am not a pantsuit person. I am a heels, dress, skirts if I can help it. It's 7 days, Sunday to Saturday, or Sunday to Friday, whatever. I'm there for 7 days. So I need 7 outfits for the gym, 7 for daytime, and maybe a few in case I do things afterwards. I have looked up things to do for fun, but who knows if they'll actually have them, given that it's like pack schedule 9 to 5. I might just go to sleep every night, who knows. But yeah, so that's a lot to pack. One checked bag and 2 side. Boots would be perfect since it's gonna be cold, but also space. I don't know. Let's pick the outfits first, shoes last. How about that? Okay, let's do it. God, okay. So this is a classic choice. I feel like I've worn this at several conferences and I'm not gonna stop, okay? Very easy, very simple, just a dress. I have some dark blue heels that go with this, and I could even wear the white shoes I own now, so pick number 1 done. Great. What else? I could wear the dress I wore today, but I don't really like the way the dress I wore today fits. Ooh. Okay. I wore this to work. Help me. I don't know. I feel like as long as I wear a jacket, this is fine. You know, they said it'll be cold. It's always cold in their buildings, but what would I wear on top of it? A regular blazer? Is that too much black? Would I get hot? Oh! Ooh! Okay. What about this with this and the boots? I'm sorry, I kind of have to! They'll be hidden a little under the dress. How would that look? Kind of cool? I'm kind of fucking with that. Okay. Beautiful. Any other dresses we're down for? Oh, I also do have, well, these also hurt. I also have these that go well with this jacket. I probably have to choose. I think I'd rather choose the other ones. I suffer through the higher heel than the uncomfortable toe. Pick and choose your battles, babe. Okay, pants. Pants I like. Okay. I do enjoy this. Oh, I gotta pick. One failed. I have to pick my little matching suit. I gotta say, the mathematicians go crazy for this like printed matching set. It's like waves and things. Anytime I run around, man, people are like, "Oh, I love that. Where'd you get that?" Speaking of, this is my first time going to like a super niche event. So I've been to several math conferences throughout my career since I was a young person, like high school, undergrad. And I have been now to a few biological conferences. So math conferences are all math. And then I've been to some science conferences. So like FSCDR, the Foundation for Sickle Cell Disease Research, hosts a conference all about sickle cell. So obviously that's not math centered. It's about biology and medicine and stuff. And so there are different vibes. Those are different audiences. I had to prepare different presentations for those audiences. But I'm not presenting here. However, it is my first time being in both. Like SMB is the Society for Math Bio, which means that it's math bio. It's math and bio, people coming together. So this is my first time meeting like people that I want to be like and that I am like, and you know, my actual expertise field, like my expertise peers. Like I have peers that are just mathematicians, but maybe their focus is some other area. I work with biologists who, you know, only know this much math, but like math bio. I'm very excited about it, to hear what they have to say, the advice, the things they're working on, networking, job opportunities, learning, adventure. Anyway, pants. These are like some cool corduroy like pants. I really like these pants. I don't know that I've ever worn them anywhere. Ooh, I mean, is that clashing? Is this a clashing thing if I wear it with this turtleneck like thing? I feel like I wouldn't wear heels with this though. I don't know, this top feels kind of boring. I don't know, I like these pants, but I don't know what to wear with them. We're gonna pause on you. Okay, let me think for a sec and stop talking. My biggest issue that I realized recently is that I don't own enough blouses. I own a lot of bottoms and a lot of dresses, but I don't really own blouses. I have tops, like crop tops, but I don't have blouses. So that is what I will be investing in for the next 3 years. Appropriate tops, because there aren't any inside. I do like this, baby. Oh, this is a good pick too. Okay, so I guess I have a thing for stripes. Who would have guessed? Oh, you know, this seems like a potentially cute combo. Okay, I'm seeing colors just pop out at me. It's a cute option with my white shoes. Yes. Okay, that's for. It looks like I might not pack any pants. I'm trying to, but it's not working out in my head. Oh, I can also wear this. What do I normally wear it with? I wore it with a jacket. Oh, I love wearing it with these shoes. These are great. The white ones with that one. I'm gonna have to bring a pair of tennis shoes. This is with you, so you need a jacket. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm surprised I haven't picked an outfit with the. I was gonna wear the strappy shoes like with my toes out, but if it's gonna be cold, perhaps that's not a good idea. Oh, this is kind of cool. There is also the fact that I don't know, a lot of mathematicians I've met don't dress up. Like they wear casual clothes basically, but the biologists that I have met dress up. They wear slacks and dresses and blouses and stuff. So I have no idea what to expect culturally, like fashion-wise, for SMB. Like, which will overtake it? Is it going to be more like dressy, or will it be? I see a lot of like cargo pants, t-shirts, sneakers, men and women, very casual. Sheldon, what show is that my mom watches? Big Bang Theory outfit vibes. You know, that's very normal. So I'll bring one like that. Yeah, baby. Okay. I think we have picked our fits, and I have one pair of pants present. All right. those are all the like, you know, I'm going to be professional fits. I still have to pick out, you know, gym clothes and like regular day if I want to go have some fun type clothes, which would probably just be the same thing, like stuff like this. Good morning, friend. Happy Thursday. My camera died as soon as I started talking on the computer last night, so I figured I might as well just continue this pass a day in the life. I still got to go to work. I'm still working on the same projects. I think I said yesterday that I didn't make a whole lot of progress on my coding. Like, I'm still debugging. I don't know how to get this to work. So I'm going in right now before my meeting. I have a meeting in 2 hours. So I'm going to go a little bit beforehand and try to keep figuring something out. But I've already updated the GitHub. I've already like posed some questions and showed that I've been working on it. So it's kind of I'm just going to do what I can to the meeting. But I have crossed off, like, they gave me 4 to-dos on, was that Monday, Tuesday, and I've gotten 2 of them done. So progress in 2 days. Yeah, I still want to show you my Notion and all of my like job-related materials, because they're still relevant. Though today is a really busy day. I am leaving in 2 days for the trip, and I'm trying to simultaneously get this coding stuff done and then spend my evenings trying to catch up on editing. I have so many videos to edit, y'all. I have so many videos to edit. So I don't know what time I'll have, but I will make it. Amen. But I just wanted to say good morning. I'm all packed for work. I love this bag. I do. I actually have one in black as well, so I think that'll be my fall version, but I'm obsessed with this bag. And this shirt, the Young Mathematicians Conference, memories. Okay, I gotta go if I wanna have time to do something. Found this cookie in the kitchen. There were red, white, and blue in there, so lovely. Had my meeting, it went well. I showed them the things I was able to update, and like it was able to work up to a point, and then TJ helped me debug even further, and he kind of started getting what I had going working. But every time something would work, there would be another error. And the like software structure I was using, the primes format, is just not compatible with what we're trying to do. So now we're going to try a different approach, and the approach that we want to try, he was describing it to me, and I was like, I'm not experienced with that. And he was like, you're telling me you've never heard of how to do XYZ? And I was like, no. He was like, oh, I should have known that before we gave you this project. I said, which part? And he was like, all of it. I said, oh, when you gave me this project, I told you I'd never used Python at all. This full project is my introduction. And he was like, oh, well, you're doing well so far, but this next part is non-trivial and is not, it'll take forever for someone that's a beginner. So now we have like split the coding job in 2. So based on the changes that we just made to it together, I'm gonna do something, then send it to him and he'll do the other part. So works for me. I appreciate the help all around. Collaboration, amen. So that's what I'm gonna spend my day doing. I have another meeting, and then I can gym. And then we can get into the job applications and stuff. So.
Two times that, and now I'm at 8,192, which is what? 2 to the what? 2 to the 9? I haven't done that part because this thing takes a little bit. This takes some time. And then the next block would be the parameters that are more that result.
I finally have the time to finish going through my updated Notion and my job application database. I have actually had some time to update more things in it, though it's not fully updated. Like this is very bare bones, considering that the job application process for me doesn't start for another 2 months still, where I won't be still seriously putting in applications. So this is just my setup, what I have ready for today before this conference that I'm going on, and what I will build on as the fall continues, as I find new places to apply to, as my goals clarify, as I get things out, etc. So this is just the basis, but I have updated some of it so it's a bit more helpful to me. So let's go through it. Okay, so I pulled up my research hub, previously titled my postdoc hub, but I realized that even as my postdoc ends, this will still be the page I use as a researcher. So it's really just my research hub. So right now I have on here a lot of things actually. I have my postdoc projects currently in one folder. I have my postdoc projects currently in the middle here. The bottom two are no longer urgent, but the top four are my priorities. I have my current to-do list on the left and my quick links to my literature tracker. I can open that in a new tab. And then my job applications is its own database and page. And then we can go to the weekly planner, grant applications, going through more research interests. So yeah, as we scroll down, I have my 2025 goals. I have my favorite playlists for the Reproductive People Club study playlist basically, and then some motivational photos to keep me going, my to-do list, and then I also, whenever I am consistent enough, I will take the notes that I have in my research notebook and update them to here so that I have them to like flip through in an easier way. And this hasn't been updated though clearly since April 10th, and it is what? Oh my god, it's July, so I obviously don't always do that. And then I have a math modeling glossary, but I've actually made a whole PDF for myself, so different thing. So this is my research hub, and this is what I pull up when I'm at work. And from here, I can go to the rest of my things. So the literature tracker, it's not totally relevant to the job applications, but just wanted to show it to you. I found a cool video that showed me how to connect it to Zotero. So amazing, right? So, all right, going to the job applications. So for me, my next steps are going to this conference for this next week, getting my work out there, finishing the 2 papers I'm working on, and then starting like October 1st, submitting applications in all of the places that I want to, based on what I put together here. So as I've had to prepare for this conference, I've slowly put together some of these materials, and I'm going to continue updating them as I live, right? So at the top here, I have some affirmations to keep myself together as I level up again as Dr. Jones. So each application is a chance to shape the future of science and improve human health. I know what I'm looking for, and that clarity will guide me to the right opportunity. These are the things that make me happy. So on the left here, I have the materials that I feel like are most relevant to any job position. So as an academic, you're almost always going to be asked for your CV, your curriculum vitae, which is an academic resume. So it takes what you would have on a resume and then expands it by having bullet points and links and all kinds of things. So it's a really long resume. And then they're likely going to ask for your transcript, whatever your last degree was, and then they're likely going to ask for a cover letter to know why you want to work there. Almost guaranteed to ask for those things for any job. And then there are some extras. There's the research statement, which I've recently learned about. There's also a diversity statement, which I have not yet written, but kind of similar to their So a research statement is kind of as it sounds, summarizing your research, what you've done, what you're interested in, what you do, what you want to do, your career goals. And then a diversity statement is essentially how your work contributes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I haven't written one because I don't know if that's still going to be a thing when I apply for these jobs, given how the job market looks in the state of the world where you're not allowed to say words like diversity anymore. But if I need to write one, this is where I will put it for quick reference. And then I have 2 versions of my CV, one with the summary, one without. And then I also have some introduction slides. This is low-key how I got the job I have. I shared this in my how I was finding a job before. I made introduction slides, and when I met with my now PI, he was starting to ask me questions like an interview, and I was like, he got to like the 2nd or 3rd question, and I was like, okay, Kim, before you ask me all of these, can I share this presentation with you because it's going to answer a lot of them, and then we can go from there. And he's like, okay, sure. And it did indeed. So, you know, it has my research motivations, my areas of interest, my background accomplishments. This is from 2024 before I graduated, so I should update this, and I will, but this is what it was for now. So an introduction to who I am, the things I'm into, my areas of interest, computational biology, mathematical data science, public health and policy, science communication, my math background. So like I could update this, maybe remove the RU since it's no longer relevant to math bio, that was in graph theory. So I would take that off, maybe have summer research, dissertation student in the publications I've gotten, and then the publications from this postdoc. And then that way it will be updated for a job position, like meeting or interview. And then my accomplishments, I would add any new papers or presentations that I've done. Hopefully there will be 2 is the goal. And then I'd have to take off the president, or at least put some years, like 2019 or whatever. And I would probably add some things more about my YouTube channel on here, especially now that I have a clearer understanding of what I'm doing. So how I am using mathematics in my platform. So like, while I am not one of those educational people, like I'm not here to teach you explicitly anything, I am using mathematical science and frameworks in what I am showing as far as personal growth and lifestyle. And I think that's an even better way to internalize mathematical concepts, to understand them in a way that's applicable to your life. That way, if you are a math student, then I feel like it's even clearer on like why that's beneficial, like how it works in other systems. So yeah, my slogan is now life as a data-driven experiment. So it makes it easier for me to connect what I do on YouTube with what I do in the real world without having to compromise too much in one area. So at this conference, if I want to talk about my YouTube channel, I can talk about how I collect data on myself for measuring things in my personal growth and my goals, and how I'm so organized, and I share these systems with other people, give them tools and tips, and I write essays and reflections on career and culture. And I am just cultivating an academic community of scholars online who are all trying to improve their lives for the better, whether that be for their work or for themselves. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm happy that I just said that so I can watch it back and update it. And then career goals are pretty the same. Disease research experience. I'm currently learning Python. Yes, I'm doing a postdoc right now. So beautiful. And how this collab benefits you, how it benefits me. We both get something. My number is changed, so it doesn't even matter that you see that. So yeah, this is my personal branding. I definitely think having something like this, I watched someone else's video who was talking, I have a mosquito bite. I watched someone else who talked about their job hunt experience, and they made like a mind map that was their personal branding. So they didn't have slides, they had like arrows to different areas of their lives. And so either way, it's important to think about your story, like what you do, why you do it, how different areas of your life connect. It's important not just for social media and content creation, but for getting a job anywhere, working with someone, the way you market and present yourself. Unfortunately, it's like very, very important. Very important, right? Okay, and so then here on the right side, we have the meat and potatoes of what I've updated. And that is my job hunt weekly to-do list, the research institutions I want to apply to, and then I have my updated CV here just in case I need to half and half the screen, you know what I'm saying? And then I have what I want to search for on those websites. So I'm gonna do the weekly to-do list last. So the research institutions I want to search at, first let me name my goal. Maybe I should put that somewhere on here. But I want to be a tenure track research professor at an R01 institution. I want to spend my time doing medical research through computation, and I would one day like to be the head of my own lab for systems biology, where I'm looking into things like lupus, diabetes, sickle cell disease, and things like that. That's my ultimate trajectory, so I am doing all I can to maintain a research career. If I have to teach, I am open to that, but my ideal position is one like the one I have. If I can maintain this job, that would be great, but I'm also still going to apply to places elsewhere, because when I think about where I want to live forever, while I think there's so much opportunity where I am, and like I said, I would not mind staying, when I think about 5-10 years from now, when I think about my long-term home, I do not want it to be Florida, you know? So I'm still going to apply to other places that are located in places I would want to live with more Black people. Amen. So how am I going to do that? I gotta find a job that's aligned with my goals and my skills and is available. That's how you do it. So because I want to be a researcher, I'm going to look at research institutions, and because I do my research through mathematics, I'm looking at mathematics organizations. So some research institutions, I wrote this list by going through my job's Zoom calendar. So every single week, nearly, someone comes to speak to us and share their research. And they're almost always from some kind of research institution, someone's Center for Medical Research. And so I went through the calendar and I wrote down every single location I saw, because obviously they're interested in what we are doing and there are people doing similar work. So they would likely be hiring for someone doing similar work. And I saw even like a lot of people would have slides that said that. So I went through that Zoom link and I wrote down all the places. So like UConn Health is like a big health institution. MD Anderson Cancer Center, really good option. So like hospitals and medical departments are big on the list. So like Johns Hopkins, Stanford, Moffitt, things like that. And then also there are mathematics organizations that are interested in applied math specifically, or in just mathematics research. And so you can umbrella that with Math Bio. So there's SIAM, the Society for Applied Mathematics. There's AAAS. Girl, I can't tell you right now. I know SMB is Society for Mathematical Biology. AMS is the American Mathematical Society. MAA is Mathematics Association of America. AWM, something Women of Mathematics. Is it American Association of Women of Mathematics? National Association of Mathematicians is NAM. ICERM, what does ICERM stand for? I have no idea, but they have really cool workshop. So like these are kind of places that obviously are for mathematicians that I could look on their websites, and they would also have their own queue of job listings, or maybe they themselves are hiring for positions in communications or in medicine. So places to check, that's why they're all kind of listed as check boxes. So like once I've done that search, I can say that it's done. But I also want to do this weekly. This was something I came up with when I applied last year. Wow, when I applied last year for jobs. So spend either 2 hours a day working on this to-do list, or spend one specific day, like every Friday, every Saturday, or something like that, on this to-do list. And that's going to be with filling in 2 or 3 new jobs, so like searching for new jobs, customizing CVs, sending out networking emails, and updating any relevant materials. So a major thing on this list for me is the networking emails. Like, that's how I got this job. I made several videos on it just by going through my network, being like, hey, I'm back on the job market. Here are the skills I have now. This is what I'm looking for. You hiring? You know somebody hiring? Is your friend hiring? And literally one of them probably was like, hey, my friend is about to be hiring. Here we are. So, and I have the list of those people at the bottom of this page so that I can just email them and click off one by one. Okay, I've emailed her. So I actually do have a list of my network, because it's important. You need to know who you want to work with, and you need to know who they are and what they do. Right. Okay. And then what do I search for when I finally do this? Like, what am I typing in on these websites? Let's get into it, right? So websites to check, I have them listed here for myself. So math jobs is my #1 place to look, very specific. Higher ed jobs, I only recently learned about, but basically professor jobs. And then you have similar things, Jobs Chronicle, academic jobs online, nature careers, science careers, they're also more specific to STEM. And then Indeed and LinkedIn are places that people recommend for turning on notifications. So I once did that, where you can type in like comp bio professor, and get alerts for those job postings immediately from LinkedIn and Indeed. I don't know if the other ones do, but I know those 2 sites give you alerts for sure to your email. And then so on those websites, click one, type into search. I have my terms ready here: assistant professor, mathematical modeling, medical computational biology, tenure track, faculty position, biomedical research, health data science, mathematical modeling, right? Things to type into search. And then most specifically, in order to be paid the way I want to and to have the responsibilities I want to, which is to say no teaching, I need to make sure I am targeting the right department. So a mathematics department, from my understanding, is funded a lot by teaching. So you have your responsibilities of your job, and if you are teaching in a math department, a lot of your salary comes from that work, and then you get very little money on the side from any research you do through grant funding. But then at research institutions in certain other departments like medical and engineering departments, there may not be as much teaching. You might only have to teach one class, so more of your salary comes from your grant funding. So then that's more about more of your job is based on the research you do and less about how much you teach, which requires you to do more publications and stuff like that. And so that's the kind of job I'm going for, which means I need to target departments that do that kind of work. So that includes departments like medical schools and research hospitals, biostatistics, systems biology, computational medicine, epidemiology, places like that have that in their lab title, org title, department title are the most ideal. Even still, as I said earlier in the video, given the cuts to funding for medicine and education and all of my passions, who knows how this process will go. I will obviously keep you updated, but this is how I am staying prepared. A big thing that I said in my job hunt videos from before is that opportunity is when luck meets preparation. A lot of it really is luck. So many talented people do not have jobs, and it is not because they're not talented and intelligent. It's because they haven't had the luck to find that specific thing. And so I never want it to seem like there are some things out of our control, right? But whenever luck does come by, you want to be prepared. You don't ever want to find out about something perfect and then be like, oh, I gotta get it together. If I were to find out about my dream job tomorrow, my CV is ready, my cover letter template is ready, I got it all ready, I do it for Shen's immediate send off, right? That's what I mean by opportunity, is when luck meets preparation. So yes, I have several ways to save applications. All the ones in here are old. They have not been updated for anything that I want to do as of like 2025, but I have updated what I will have in it, right? So right now I'm looking at it by job type. So maybe I want to do another postdoc. I don't. I want to get paid more. But if I just could not get any other job, that would be the only reason I do it, and it's probably why I wouldn't get one. But if I wanted to, I could look up any ads for that, because in truth, I suppose people have told me that if you already have done one postdoc, then you already are better skilled for other PhDs to get that job. But then you're taking away from fresh PhDs. So I don't know. I would prefer to get paid more, so I'm definitely just going to apply straight for professor jobs and like entry level or manager type data and mathematics jobs. So my ideal would be a math bio tenure track position, because that's probably more research based. But I will still apply to teaching jobs for math. So like if I have to teach a calculus class in order to get the kind of pay I need, then fine, I will do it. I can do it. I'm actually an excellent teacher. I think many of you would agree with that, given that I don't even really teach here, but I am excellent at conveying ideas and complex things. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, which is why I don't do it, but I would do it if I had to do it. So that's why it's at the bottom there. Before that, I would rather work in industry. Would I? I don't know. So those are the main ones I'm looking for, but I have several things on my job tracking database. So like I said, these are all old. Let's filter by, I have on here when the application is due, what the submission status of that application is. Have I bookmarked the ad? Am I gathering materials? Do I have reference letters? Do I have all of my materials? Have I applied, followed up? What is the result? Same kind of thing for application status, as far as same thing. So I create another one, but this one is more for after I've applied. So I want to fill this in like, okay, it has been like I've applied. This probably should be my default for that one. And so then we have the job title as advertised, so whatever it says, copy pasted, and then somewhere where I actually put the job application, so like what it consists of, the reference code, full thing for the job there. And then I can choose any materials that I need. Maybe I only need these 3, I only need 2, whatever. And then the department it's in, the location, the link to that post, because often you need it initially and then it might disappear, so it's good to have separate what it posted and the link. And then how much it pays, because that's important, and the benefits. And so that's everything in the application database. So like if I just find a new one, fill it in what I can, and then maybe on that one day a week when I do the to-do list, I can fill in the rest and then follow the rest of the to-do list. And then I have some photos of me doing my thing to encourage me to keep doing my thing. And then I have my academic network. The top two are these two women right here who have changed my life, turned me into a doctor in the pushing me through the door kind of way. So love them forever. Okay, so that's my job app database. So that's my system, right, for tracking jobs, finding jobs, saving jobs, and making sure that I'm doing the process. But having a goal and having organization is not enough to make sure something gets done. I need to make sure I'm adding it to my lifestyle system in the ways that I have a weekly routine, daily routine, monthly routine. I need to add it into one of those, either into my daily, my weekly, or my monthly routines, so that it becomes a part of my system and it's something I'm doing habitually and not just every blue moon, especially if I want to be successful. Also, I won't just be networking at this conference. Like, networking will not end when I leave this conference next week. I will then also be networking digitally. I'll be networking, whether it's through posting more on LinkedIn, and maybe I should create some kind of add it to my system to post every Monday on LinkedIn or something. I want to make sure I'm networking with my digital community. As I said earlier in the video, I have the Reproductive People Club, and then I have the Scholar Circle. And so that's also kind of a form of networking, of us connecting with each other across disciplines. And then I'm also going to be, continually sharing my work and building a portfolio. A major thing for me now with all of my platforms, whether that be YouTube, Instagram, Substack, like I want, when people Google me and they find all of my things, I want everywhere they find me to have something good for them, regardless of like what area it's emphasizing, right? Okay, friend, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for spending these last couple days with me while I get myself together and get ready to go to this conference. I think I've had a lot of nervous energy in an excited way and in a nervous way. It's my very first time presenting myself as Dr. Jones. I feel like Dr. Quin is my YouTube name because it's a little bit formal, but more still like how I go by Quin. It's pretty casual. But Dr. Jones is she's a professional. She's a researcher, and I feel, I don't know, higher expectations for this version of myself, and I'm excited to meet those expectations. I feel my life transforming. I feel myself changing and my standards raising and the things I want changing, and I'm excited to I'm just excited to continually explore myself and my desires and do what I want to create the life that I feel is fulfilling to me. So I hope you join me on this journey. I have my PhD diaries where I talk about all things PhD and will likely update you on this job hunt journey. I also have a career Substack, Days as a Doctor, where I share bi-weekly newsletters. But then I also have more personal content. I have a personal blog, the daily column. I have my late 20s, my fitness stuff. So we're sharing all about personal growth and not just career things. So whatever you're looking for, I hope you feel welcome in this community, and I can't wait to see you in my very next video. Bye, friend.